What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Play Hiveswap for the Friendsim for the third time, which is my third playthrough of Hiveswap Friendsim, where instead of just playing by myself or sending random photos to a friend, I'm gonna make a commentary YouTube video out of it. Expect spoilers for this and the other Homestuck content, except for like the post-can and stuff, because I'm probably just going to talk about whatever. I'm expecting you to already know what Hiveswap Friendsim is, but not consistent character voices, because I'm not great at those. We're going to do this one route at a time, and so today, I forget who's first, it's Ardata. Fucking cerulean bitch. You have just crash-landed on a planet called Alternia, and staggered from the smoldering wreckage of your ship. You are now completely alone in a strange world, desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you are desperate for friendship. Won't someone on this godforsaken rock be your buddy? Any weirdo will do. You're not that picky. Hang on, what's this now? Is someone approaching? It's Ardata today. Yes, someone is approaching. A strange, gray-skinned alien, clad in blue. Perhaps they will make for a good friend? No. Dear God. And just what are you supposed to be? Your stammering reply eventually conveys that you are a lost traveler who is hungry and probably in need of some medical treatment. You're also really lonely and wouldn't mind making a new friend right about now. Oh my. I can't do an evil laugh. Shit. Oh, how funny this is. How very droll. Oops. You want to be my friend? I don't know what voice I'm doing for her. It's this, I guess. It's too much. This thing at my doorstep, wishing to know me in any capacity. The hilarity somehow escapes my ability to capture with maniacal laughter. How rare. I don't. Ceruleans do be bitches, is the thing. You apologize for your presumptuous request. You hang your head, turn around, and begin to walk up. And just what the fuck do you think you're doing? Is this even the right sound? Who knows? Who invited you to leave? Me. Excuse me. You stop in your tracks obediently and turn to face her again. Your possibly broken ribs are throbbing in pain, but this does not strike you as the right moment to exhibit weakness. A smart plan, as we'll later learn. It dawns on me that we may have gotten off on the wrong songster pod, because troll words are fucking weird. Where are my manners? Ghastly behavior on my part. This will continue. After all, it isn't your fault you seem to be some sort of hideous freak, is it? And such a tragic creature cannot be held responsible for such a devastating shortfall of social incompetence. I feel like this is what my classmates thought of me. I would weep for you, really, except that crying out of 3 eyes at once gets a bit messy. So instead, I think I'll be saving my tears for someone less offensively worthless. Sure, Ardata. Sure, crying out of 3 eyes is too messy for you. You aren't sure if she's inviting you inside, or if you just got you to stay a little longer so she could insult you some more? It's both. Ceruleans. You try to remain stoic while your confrontational new friend decides what to do with you. Unfortunately, you sniffle slightly, due to the broken ribs. Oh my, oh dear, you're sad. I feel like Ardata reminds me of, like, the classic, like, mean girl stereotype, but specifically the ones that were like, ah shit, you do be neurodivergent, and then pick on you for it. So amusing to me. Mildly endearing, even. Perhaps I'll decide later if it's endearing once I have more information. It's entirely possible I will retroactively decide it's disgusting. Someone wrote that dialogue on purpose. But for now, try to put yourself at ease, you completely pitiful fool. Not one more sniffle. Do you understand? You nod, while practicing exemplary control over your nose. You have gotten yourself so agitated. I wonder why. You have nothing to worry about from me. You have every... Why has it taken me this long to realize her horns are fucking saws? Just saw into you. Like, I just need to cut off your arm. Just get under your armpit. There you go. Of course, I will be your friend. Conditionally, I mean. If there is a chance the designation will be formalized if you behave in ways that I approve of starting now. Let's call it a friendship in progress. Agreed? Her nails do look nice. I won't lie. Your heart swells. This is what you've been waiting for. A new friend. Oh gosh. All you have to do now is try not to fuck up anything at all. Possibly for many hours. Is this me going to work? Come into my hive. This way, after me, you look like you could use nourishment. Background wipe. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that whatever you are eats, generally, but it doesn't matter. You will eat whatever it is I have on hand if I tell you to. How does that sound? Like you're a bitch. How does it sound? I'm gonna try to go for the bad endings first, because that's how I like to replay these games. I'm pretty sure this is the bad ending. Whoops, I didn't read that. So the ending I just chose was, it sounds fine, I guess. Get the fuck out of my face and never come back. Rejection. We weren't even in her house and she's thrown us out of her house. Oh, it's a fucking castle. It's a fucking castle. And now, the wonders of autosave. So, to actually continue, it sounds good. I'll do whatever you say. Obviously, it sounds good. You will definitely enjoy it. Which means we're not going to. You will enjoy everything I provide you with and tell you to do. I can't imagine any sort of negativity or disagreement coming from one of my friends. As if she has any. I will assume that we share this philosophy when it comes to friendship. You say yes. Oh yes, absolutely. You nod as enthusiastically as you can without aggravating your broken ribs. You consider giving her a thumbs up as well, until you realize one of your arms is probably broken too. You will try to make sure she doesn't notice, though it would probably leave a bad impression. Come with me. There's something I need your help with. Here's the thing. Here's one of the worst things about fucking Ardata. If you look at, like, her fridge handle, and her fucking sink handles, and this oven down here, and this rag, I'm pretty sure she uses horns for her furniture, and considering she's probably committed murder before, I would not be surprised if that was the case. You follow her into her hive. It's a bit gloomy in here. You suppose she's going to fix you something to eat, as promised. You pass through her kitchen and out the other side to another room. Okay, you guess dinner can wait. This way. Trying to let any of your broken limbs slow you down. A good friend would allow such trifling physical ailments to cause me any inconvenience. Oh, so you guess she does know you're injured? Fair enough. You hop a little faster, through another door, into a much darker room, and now down a flight of stairs? It's hard to see. There are torches along the wall ahead. A monstrous noise rumbles below. Don't mind her. She's just hungry. She's always hungry, though. You have to roll your eyes. That's what I've decided. With that, you're hungry too. I have not forgotten. What sort of piece of shit friend do you take me for? A cerulean. You didn't remind her that you're hungry. You thought it, though. Can she read your mind? You hope not. This is going to make this friendship in progress a bit awkward. Here we are. This is where you will be most useful to me as a friend. The dungeon. You look around. With a sense of relief, you see no sign of whatever hungry thing was grumbling down here. You are less relieved to see several other kids trapped in cages of various shape and size. Because of course, one of them makes eye contact with you. The boy is the same kind of alien as her, horns and all. He has a dark red symbol on his shirt. His expression seems to plead with you. Lowblood writes. He struggles to say, help. Your new friend looks unamused and twitches her finger. Help low, he says. Help low. By which I mean hello, of course. Looks like you're the new friend in progress chosen by the great and beautiful Ardata. She's my savior, my reason for being. I'm nothing without her. I'd hollow myself out and let her make a nest inside of me if she'd permit it. You turn away from this boy. You don't want to hear anything he has to say. Ever again. Don't mind him. He's always regarding himself as a comedian. Come, over here. This is what I need your help with if you're going to have any value to me as a friend. You're led to a dark corner of this, well, you're gonna call it like you see it, this dungeon. Your new friend has a dungeon full of sad, suffering children, and presumably a monster looking somewhere in here as well. It's not ideal. I don't know how fast the volume is, or how loud the sound is. I'm just gonna do this. Then again, social beggars like you can't be choosers. I've been having an awful time with it. You can do it for me. It will save me some time. You look at the thing in question. You doubt she's been having an awful time with it. You doubt this because it's still in its box, looking completely untouched since it was brought down here. It's a box containing a table that looks ominously like it was designed to keep a person strapped to its surface. I will need you to assemble it. Here's a screwdriver, in case you need it. I will assume other required tools are contained within the box. You take the screwdriver with your non-broken arm. This isn't exactly what you had in mind. You don't know what you had in mind, really. A warm meal? Friendly banter? Perhaps a sling for your arm and remedial balm for your ribs? Still, you open the box without protest. Hold on, before you start, this will make for excellent content. Hashtag content. Thomas Coverage. My fans will appreciate this. I always wonder who Ardata's fans are. 'Cause, like, is it just other highbloods? 'Cause I think she mentions purples later on, but I think that might be because they don't appreciate her content because they're into clowns. I have to imagine there's probably just like other ceruleans. Maybe some sea dwellers. Do sea dwellers have TVs? Did Troll Technology... I mean, I guess they have computers. I guess they'd have TV. Or maybe, yeah, maybe they have TVs. Who knows? There she goes. She sets up a video recording device on a tripod and points it at you. A video feed comes to life on several monitors just behind you. You see in one corner of a screen an unflattering angle of your torso hunched over the furniture box. Other rectangles contain shots of the other kids in cages around the room. You suppose cameras are pointing at them too. You had no idea that this friendship came with the perk of instant stardom. If only you knew, MSP reader. If only you knew. Also, can we talk about this baby photo now that she's out of the way? Like, ignoring the tick monster, her eyes are so fucking big. And I know that's just how babies are in Homestuck. They're born with glasses. It happens. Shit be like that. But her eyes are so big. Like, do they need to be that big? No. The answer is no. Now you may begin. She is suddenly sitting in a comfortable-looking chair facing you and holding a chalice, swishing around some viscous liquid it contains. Yes, I pronounced that right. Is it blood? Probably. You have all the parts spread out on the floor, organized according to their labels and the instructions. You try to remember the last time you assembled something like this. You don't recall enjoying it. To be perfectly honest, this doesn't look like it'll be fun at all. She frowns conspicuously. Oh, how sad for you. Fucking mind powers. I'm sorry, is this activity not to your liking? You reassure her vigorously that no, it actually looks amazing to you. Amazing. You love shit like this. It's what you were born for, you say, as you swoosh the screwdriver around, demonstrating your plainly evident skill with the tool. Anything can be a magic wand, if you believe in yourself. Forget the thing you just thought. Completely arbitrary and wrong thoughts pop into your head all the time. It meant nothing, you swear. I mean, honestly, sometimes it do be like that, though. Just hanging out, and your brain's like, why don't we eat our bones? And you're like, that's counterproductive to the situation. Yes, I hear that a lot, because you're a bitch. Continue. You open the little bag full of screws. Jesus, there are like 50 screws to this thing. Where could most of these screws possibly even go? Judging from the picture, the table really doesn't seem that complicated. I'm surprised it doesn't look more like a bug. You look at your screwdriver, then study the screws. Every single one of these requires an Allen wrench. Does this even come with an Allen wrench? The instructions seem to suggest it does. You look around, but you don't see one. Did you open the bag too forcefully? Did the Allen wrench go bouncing off into a dark dungeon crevice nearby? Maybe you lost some of the screws too. Damn it. You begin to sweat and look around nervously. You check underneath one of the parts. No, it's not under there. You grip the screwdriver a little tighter. You wonder what to do next. I forget which is the bad ending now. I think it's this one. So just do your best assembling the table. This is what friends are for. You decide it would be best not to complain about the missing Allen wrench. Your friend would probably consider it in bad form. You'll just make do and twist in all the screws by hand, as best as you can. Can confirm this does not work in real life. Your broken arm isn't making this any easier. You favor the other one, and prop piece is into place, precariously leaning against each other, while you nudge them into position with your legs to the screw holes in line. It's really frustrating work, you're not gonna lie. As you are twisting in the first screw, the grooves slip, and the screw gets stuck, but you've already turned it too tight. No, it's hard to get it out. You twist in reverse harder, but your fingers slip, and the table pieces start to slide. They're going to fall. You react to catch them, but it's too late. The heavier piece tips over and slams you in the broken ribs on its way to the floor. It hits the floor with a bang. The stuck screw pops out and goes bouncing 10 or 15 feet away, settling deep underneath a piece of dungeon furniture. God, you're probably gonna need to get that. You hear a light chuckle. Good. Good. She takes another sip from her chalice and settles even more comfortably into her chair. Is she enjoying this? You think she's enjoying watching you struggle to put this stupid thing together. Maybe a little too much. Don't mind me putting on chapstick. Nevertheless, you continue. A friend is a friend, and you don't like to let your friends down. You've committed yourself to this project. You will get the screw from under there a bit later. Maybe when you need the final screw. You turn your attention back to the table pieces and try a different strategy. You place the biggest part, the table platform, flat on the floor. The legs would be pointing upward if they were attached. You position one leg in the right spot, in alignment with the holes, sit on the table platform, and study the legs with your feet. You grab another screw and concentrate. She sounds so pleased. It's strange, you admit, for watching this sort of activity to make someone so happy. But you also have to admit to taking a certain pride in it. It's wonderful, actually, to feel useful, wanted, important even, if only somewhat menially, to a great new friend who has discovered a way for your talents to improve her life. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice one of the caged kids reaching out with his hand. He's concentrating. Then you notice the screw you lost slowly slide out from underneath its hiding place. Rust bloods. Fuck yes. Nice! Everyone's working like a team down here. Ardata does not look at the kid, but sneers a bit. She reaches towards him, and he appears to have trouble breathing. After a moment, you notice the screw slowly slides back under the thing. She releases him from his breathing problems, resumes her present expression, and takes another sip from the chalice. I think I already said this, but we can agree with that that's probably blood, right? Do they have wine on Laternia? I guess wine isn't thick, either. You guess that was against the rules? You decide to make a note of it. Your friend runs a tight ship down here. You can respect that. Fade to black. About an hour later, you have all 4 legs on, plus some other accoutrements attached. You wrestle mightily with the thing to get it upright, using your only good arm. It seems she may have forgotten about the final missing screw. You doubt the table needs it. You decide you won't bring it up if she won't. You give it a test. It's pretty wobbly, since you were only able to tighten the screws with your bare fingers. But again, she doesn't seem to mind. She reclines and has a look on her face which makes her appear absolutely enamored of your handiwork. She's finished her drink and the chalice is on a side table. Some awful looking thing crawls along the floor toward her. That, probably. It looks like some sort of spider, the size of an average dog. Its abdomen is preposterously large. Actually, you think it's a huge tick? That's what it looks like. It settles just in front of her. She puts her legs on top of it and crosses them. It settles under their weight and grumbles. Let's try it out, shall we? You shrug and sit down on the rather rickety table. You're about to lie down, but she interrupts you. No. You fool. You absolute fool. What do you think you're doing? That's not what I meant. Get up. You stand up, embarrassed. Again, without looking at the caged kid, she raises an arm towards him and beckons. He stares blankly and opens his own cage, which apparently wasn't locked. He shuffles vacantly over to your table and lies down on its surface. She looks at you expectantly. You aren't sure what to do. What? You didn't think I'd be playing table stickball on that thing, did you? Troll words. You aren't sure what table stickball is? Oh, you really are pretty simple, aren't you? It's like a miniature version of arena stickball. Play it on a table. Got it? You don't, but you nod. Me when my coworkers talk about Twilight. Now go to it. You shackle the kid's arms and legs to the table. That seems to be the right thing to do since the thing comes fitted with shackles. She gets up and lifts her huge tick-like pet. It makes more grumpy noises. She plops the enormous thing down down on the kid's chest. He appears rendered unable to protest. The tick bites the boy's neck and begins to feed. She smiles and pats its swelling abdomen. Dark, rust-colored blood dribbles from the place where it has attached to the boy's neck. Moments go by while she looks gratified by the process. Proud, almost. Then she looks at you expectantly. Well, you don't know what she means. The final screw. Aren't you going to retrieve it and screw it into wherever it needs to go? The job isn't done. I don't keep the company of many individuals who leave things unfinished, you know. Of course. What were you thinking? You should have known your friend wouldn't let that go unnoticed. Actually, you feel like an idiot for thinking it would. You stoop very low to the ground, on your knees, placing your cheek just above the floor. You peer under the large edifice. It's dark in there, and it goes back a ways. Lots of room for that darn little screw to roll. You take a few pitiful swipes with your good arm, become empty. It must be further back. You think you can see it? Yeah, that must be it, just a little further. You have an idea. A tool would be helpful. Guess a screwdriver will come in handy after all. How did she know? Your new friend must be very wise. You think you're liking her more every minute. You grab the screwdriver and feel around with it. Yes! You got it, you think. You carefully scrape it closer to yourself and then pick it up. You then go back to the table and find the one remaining hole you left unscrewed. You slide under the table as a mechanic would with a car. There it is! The table is creaking and wobbling quite a bit now. The tick is really getting into its dinner, it seems. All the loose screws in the table have added up to a lot of given leeway in the overall stability of the furnishing. Maybe the final screw will help. Ardata has returned to the setup with the monitors. She's adjusting some settings on the feed, controlling the zoom of the camera, and typing some remarks into a chat window. This is very good material today. It's not often that I can provide content of this caliber to my subscribers. Go on, complete your project. This will be very good. You still think it's weird that she likes watching you put furniture together so much? But you're not one to judge friends. Sounds like a great way to lose friends, honestly. You screw in the final screw, but the stresses on the table are causing the holes to be misaligned. This won't be easy. The huge tick shifts its grotesque body above you, causing the table to creak loudly. You nervously slide halfway out from under the table to check it out. Then a loud pop, and the sound of scraping metal. 6 or 7 screws shoot out of the desk like rivets in a sinking submarine. What a piece of shit this thing is, you think a little too late. You really needed that Allen wrench. All 4 legs splay dramatically out from under at once like a baby deer on ice. The table platform comes crashing down on your lower torso, breaking your pelvis. You bellow in pain and flail to pull yourself out. The reader has broken all of their... The reader has no bones left. 0 bones. 0 intelligence. 0 bones. 90% gay. If we can agree on that. I forgot about the blood in this scene. You forget that you're still holding the screwdriver. In your desperate flailing, you plunge the screwdriver into the fat abdomen of the tick, which begins gushing rust blood with a great force, spraying your entire upper body and face. This will not be the last time we are covered in blood. The beast starts thrashing wildly and screaming. You can't see your new friend due to the blood in your eyes, but you can't imagine she's thrilled about what's going on here. Your annihilated pelvis is in perfect agony. You have to get your miserable torso out from under this shitty table. You have an idea. With your broken arm, you start slapping the big ass of the screaming tick while yelling, "Yeehaw!" You clutch the screwdriver handle with your other hand hard. Is it yeehaw time? Skyla's later, and she's hot. The blood-gushing monster starts kicking and rearing, then blasts off across the dungeon floor like a pig at a rodeo. Do they have pigs at rodeos? I didn't think that was a thing that they had. You hold on for dear life, still blind, but your plan works. You've been pulled out from under the tomb you've spent the last hour constructing for yourself. Your pelvis is now in ruins, but at least you're free now and riding it like the wind. As you and the blood-spewing tick go tearing around the room, crashing into stuff, you hear a boy crying. You guess Ardata became distracted enough by your foolish display to cease her paralyzation method on him. Or maybe distracted is the wrong word? Maybe she's disappointed by your foolishness? Oh god, you might be blowing it right now. The tick swerves suddenly and starts running up the stairs. Ow, ow, ow. Your brittle pelvis feels every step on the way up. It careens through the rest of the hive, crashes through the front door, and then comes to a sudden halt. Your catapult is violently over its backside and sails 50 yards through the air. You land on your ass and wipe the blood from your eyes. Okay, this was embarrassing, but everyone makes mistakes, right? You can still salvage this friendship, you know you can. You turn back to look at her hive. Ardata is standing at the door with a furious look on her face. She is flipping you off. You will not be my friend. I forgot it's the same screen for both of these endings. We've been rejected a second time. Alright, folks. It's the last one. We're getting the hell out of there. First, you clear your head and try to think innocent thoughts. Fluffy clouds in the sky. Ironing some clothes. A winning touchdown pass from the sports. Ardata's long black hair spilling over her cloak. Wait, these are not innocent thoughts. Shut it down, shut it down. Me. There's no time for thinking. You have to act. You hurl a screwdriver her and run. That was my Roomba. She calmly lifts a hand toward one of the kids in the cages. The kid tenses up and lifts a hand in the direction of the screwdriver. The screwdriver freezes mid-air right in front of Ardata's head. You run up the stairs. She twitches a finger, and the caged kid does a full-body spasm, and the screwdriver goes sailing towards you. It stabs deep into your leg, and you buckle over, tumbling backward down the stairs. You're in a crumpled heap at the bottom of the stairs, bleeding, and you think your arm is broken in 2 places now. That didn't seem very friendly to me. Luckily for you, I'm very determined to make relationships work. Relationships, in quotes. Torture victims, mostly. Even ones with people who flee simple furniture assembly projects. She stands over you. You attempt to pull the screwdriver out of your leg, but your entire body locks up. You can't move. She holds an outstretched hand just above you. You shouldn't try to move yet. And you certainly shouldn't try to pull out that screwdriver. You'll get blood everywhere. To my 3 little eyes, under the present conditions, it seems to me that only one of us should attempt walking up these stairs. You'll feel relieved. Perhaps she has some sort of alien means of levitating up the stairs. Wait. No. Your body is tensing up again. It's moving without your permission. You get to your feet without taking the screwdriver out. Wow, that hurts! What is she making you... What? She can't be! Ceruleans. I mean, I'm a lesbian, legally. I do stand Vriska. But ceruleans. Use both of your arms and all your strength and pick her up entirely. The pain from your arm is excruciating. Arms with broken bones are not meant for heavy lifting. The additional weight on your wounded leg isn't great either. You hold her as a groom would hold a bride. She wraps her arms around your neck to hang on to you in what strikes you as an overly familiar manner. She looks directly into your eyes and grins. This is better. She needs more pupils, I think. Now, onward and upward, new friend. Your legs begin to operate without your consent. They wobble and struggle under the weight. The wound throbs. You lumber back up the long flight of stairs, carrying her all the way. You take her back to the kitchen and set her down in a chair seated at a table. You didn't think I'd forget all about dinner time, did you? Let's put your unfriendly behavior behind us. It's a good thing for you that I'm benevolent enough to overlook disgusting acts of betrayal. Now that we're back in the kitchen, the meat hooks? The meat hooks? Why? Put those in your dungeon. Come on. If you're gonna have them, put them in your dungeon. You may have noticed I keep several friends in my hive who I have similarly forgiven. Consider this transgression blood beneath the abattoir. You exhale. Now that you mention it, yes, you are hungry. Maybe a warm meal will lift your spirits and get this heretofore turbulent friendship back on track. Maybe even get the chance to pull this screwdriver out of your leg. You pull a chair out and attempt to sit down, but your legs lock up, and then you stand again. Apparently this was not the right thing to do. Oh, but why are you sitting? There's cooking to be done. She leaves. You stagger mechanically over to the fridge and open it. You pour a large hunk of some sort of alien mystery meat and put it on the counter. Probably a bug. With your broken arm, you reach in anguish for a big dangly meat cleaver. You chop the hawk, wincing with each swing of the cleaver. You place the sliced meat in a frying pan, sear it lightly, and serve it on a plate. Very rare. Just the way your new friend likes it. You didn't know that's the way she likes it, but you surmise this is what she prefers in a piece of meat, since technically she's the one doing the cooking. You put it on the table in front of her, along with a fork and knife beside it. Your muscles relax as you're apparently allowed to control your own body again. She does nothing, except for you look at you with a pleased expression. You eye the meat in front of her, then the meat on the counter, and the chair on the other side of the table. What should you do? Prepare a plate for yourself? Is that what she wants you to do? Well, it looks like you're confused. Isn't it obvious what to do next under your own volition? A good friend would know what to do. In fact, I don't think a good friend would take nearly as long to decide what the right thing to do next is. It actually seems to me that you're a very rude friend who would hesitate for as long as you are hesitating. Or perhaps someone who's not a friend at all. You begin to sweat again. You clearly don't have much time to make up your mind. If you wait for even a few seconds longer, you will probably be guilty of being a bad friend. Maybe even a dreadful one. That's not the type of person you like to think you are. What will you do? And as there's our only option, we will feed her. This feels like the only obvious thing to do. She is looking up at you quite expectantly. You reach for the fork with your good arm. You go for the knife with your other... Ow! You can't do it. That arm is much less serviceable when the muscles are not being forced via psychic override to disregard the pain response. Nevertheless, she looks at you patiently and smiles. That's nice of her, you think. Not to be mad about it. You feel like you're going closer to your new friend by the minute. You put the fork down and pick up the knife with your good arm. You cut the meat into several pieces with a careful sawing motion. You put the knife down and pick up the fork and stab a piece. You put it close to her mouth. She seems pleased. Very good. Nice technique. Well-sized morsels, too. She chews the meat with excellent form. She has very good table manners, you think. When she finishes the pieces, you slice off some more and continue. The meat looks very good. Your mouth is watering, but she doesn't offer you any. Oh well, when it's the right time for you to eat too, you're sure she will let you know. A fade to black. I always forget how much this root, it's a very interesting tone setter, I think. It's a good... Because obviously she's first, so you're like, oh, I'll go to Ardata first. And then you're like, oh, I forgot Alternia sucks. That's why they had that whole rebellion and the Silence being like, hey, what if stuff sucked less? And then they were like, fuck you, dude. We're gonna kill you. And your whole family. But then they didn't kill his whole family, and they just tortured all of them in various ways. Yes, the disciple was still tortured. I consider social isolation after watching the love of your life die. Torture. Back to Ardata. The meal is finished. There is no more meat, except for a few pieces of unchewable gristle, which you did not try to feed her. That would have been thoughtless. Very bad service. She reclines and steeples her fingers, looking quite pleased with how the evening has gone so far. You aren't sure why she's laughing. Did you do something funny? Oh my. What a fool. You point at yourself, wondering if she's referring to you. You don't know what you've done that was foolish. If so, you're also still not sure what she finds so amusing. She pauses her laughter for a minute or two, then slowly begins to frown. A faint blue tear rolls down her cheek from her bottom eye. This isn't very funny, what's happening here. It was a good dinner. You did a good job. Whoever you are. She puts her face in both her hands and sobs quietly. You have no idea what to do about this. You stand there, still holding the fork, feeling a bit useless. There is a lot of pressure, you know. Being so respected and admired for your high status in this world. I didn't ask for this. To be so superior to so many. Highbloods. Fuck the highbloods. All my homies hate highbloods. That's a lie. There are some okay highbloods. But also lowblood rights. Much is expected of you. Much is presumed about what your personality will be before you even develop one. That's how the hemo spectrum works. You work hard and build a brand based only on what you think people assume you should be like. Sometimes I wonder, am I even that good at being sinister? Could I be more sinister if I tried harder? Maybe this is not my true calling after all. You begin to offer words of sympathy. This all seems heartbreaking to you, your poor new friend. But your jaw muscles contract, and your mouth shuts involuntarily. You guess it's not your turn to speak yet? Okay, that works for you. You like to be a good listener to your friends. But what would happen if I changed my brand? If I stopped being so sinister online? My friends and followers will deride and reject me, and my superiors will eat me alive. If I show weakness, if I scale back my bloodthirsty content, will I incur the scorn of a wise-ass clown with 100 million subscribers? Will I be in a cage someday, listening to a fucking fool honk his horn for likes? They're just clowns, leave them alone. No, I must persist. How lonely it is to know this is all I can do until the day I leave this planet. I have no material or sensory comforts left for me here. Until I can get on a ship and fly away, pain is my only solace. Your hand holding the fork grips it tighter. You're horrified to realize what is in the process of doing. You bring it down hard on her hand, which is placed flat on the table. She doesn't flinch or react in any way. 3 trails of cerulean blood flow from the tines where they pierce her skin. I wasn't friendly, you think? But then, you weren't the one who did it, were you? You're so confused. My subscribers are not real friends. Ardata discovers parasocial relationships. They adore me only for my sinister content, the show I provide, my wicked, infectious laughter. I get jealous of them sometimes, because they get to watch my content. It must be thrilling, I think, but maybe I'm just jealous of them because they get to people who aren't me. This is fucking deep, I know. Apologies if you cannot relate. She pulls the fork out of her hand and lays it gently on the plate of gristle you didn't feed her. The people downstairs in their cages aren't my friends either. They act like they're my friends, though, and sometimes I even believe it. But they don't really want to be friends with me. Nobody does, because they're a bitch. The only person who's ever really wanted to be my friend, who's ever tried to be, is you. You clear your throat and point to yourself innocently. That's it, I've decided. You have passed the test. You will become my friend. Officially. As such, I think a reward is in order. You are overjoyed. Your heart starts racing. You can't believe it. A new real friend. You don't have much time to enjoy this achievement. Your body is doing something again. I hate this part. I'm pretty sure I actually gagged when I played this for the first time. Possibly the second time. You bend down in a strained motion and pick up the plate and fork. You position the plate over your wide open mouth and scrape in all the remaining gristle and begin chewing. It's virtually inedible. Your mouth humors the act of chewing for 2 seconds, and then you swallow all of it whole in one painful gulp. Tastes like friendship. Friendship. So that's Ardata's route. This is like almost 41 minutes long. So I'll be back sometime soon with Damien's route. Have a good day.